Yo, what up? So I'm super excited to talk about today's product, the Godox VD microphone. It's a compact shotgun directional microphone. So we're going to run through a few things today. We're going to talk about what comes in the box, how it sounds both inside and outside, and then we're quickly going to talk about how it compares to its competitors. Let's get into it. But first and foremost, just a little bit of manners. Welcome to Creative Tech Lab. This is probably your first time here, which makes you an awesome person for clicking on this video. And to the people that have gone down below and hit the subscribe button, I always like to thank each video by thanking those people. I greatly appreciate it. All right, but what we're here to talk about is the microphone here today. Again, the Godox VD Mic. So quick disclaimer, Godox did send this microphone over for me to check out. However, they did not ask me to make anything. They did not get any input into this video. These are completely my opinions on this microphone. So I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth. So the compact microphone space is an interesting and competitive space. There is the ones at the top that you might be familiar with, like the Rodes out there. And then there's a ton of discount manufacturers that are always seem to be reaching out to smaller channels like myself. Most of them are not worth mentioning. However, if you're familiar with Godox, they make lights. They make awesome lights. I've done a review on my lighting setup. I use a Godox SL60W, which is like a poor man's Aperture 120D. Godox makes lights in that category to kind of compete with Aperture. The reason why I mentioned that in this microphone test though is that aside from that, they already make great lighting products. Most people may not know that Aperture has a microphone company of their own called Deity. So this thing right here seems to be like Godox is moving in the same exact product roadmap like Aperture is moving, and if that's the case, that should be really exciting for people like us, because more competition between those two companies is always better for the actual end consumer. So I'm actually excited to check this out and see if the microphones are as good as their lights. So let's open up the box and see what we have inside here. So this is the box, this is the packaging, this is what it comes and it looks like. Nice clean design. That should not be as important, but I feel like when people actually go into those type of things, that means they actually care about their product, i.e. Apple. What do we have here? We have some papers, things that we don't need. Nobody ever reads these papers. All right, first things first, we have a dead cat. I don't know why they ever call it a dead cat, but we have a dead cat to cut down on wind when it is that you're outside. And then we have the microphone. This is what it looks like. Very, very familiar design. My Rode Videomicro is actually on the camera right now, even though I'm recording into this microphone separately. My reference audio is either done with the Rode Videomicro or the Movo mic, which I've done a comparison to before. But most of compact shotgun microphones are in this particular cylinder design there, and they're kind of small and they look just like this here. Got focused there. So we have the microphone there, we have the dead cat. All right, what else we got in the box here? We have the shock mount. Ooh, I like this already. Shock mount is feeling nice and sturdy. One of my gripes with the Rode Videomicro is the shotgun mount is really, really flappy. This feels nice and sturdy, and it's not going to be flopping around on the camera when it is that we're moving around. So nice there. And this looks like an adapter here. So 1/4 inch to 1/8 inch adapter that we have there. We can screw that in and out depending on what tripods we are putting that on. So that will come in useful as well in our test here as we test it out. Let's see what else we got in the box here. And then I think these are the cables. Let me open this here. It comes looking like this. Ooh, nice. We have another windshield there, one that's not as aggressive as the dead cat there. This is something that you could use like this in the studio, and that can help cut down on the pops a little bit when it is that you're using the microphone. So that's cool. You have an additional accessory that you wouldn't get with some of the other compact microphones out there. And then we have, awesome, so we have the two different type of cables here. Look like we have, are they designated here? Cables look nice. We have a red one, we have a black one, and we have a red one here. They are not labeled, but this one looks like it's for the smartphone, so TRRS. So if you need to put it into your smartphone, this is a cool setup if you want to get, if you're vlogging with your iPhone Pro, whatever it is that you use there. And this one looks like the regular TRS cable there. Looks pretty cool. So let's attach a microphone and see what it would sound like this far away from me. The camera is about, I don't know, 3 feet away from me right now. That's where the microphone would be. So let's put it on there. I'm gonna swap out the Rode Videomicro for this Godox VD mic and see what things sound like. All right, a little bit of user error there. I had actually plugged the microphone in, but the plugs weren't in tight. I kept on getting this weird feedback noise, like I was getting some grounding noise as if the cable was bad. However, the cable wasn't plugged in all the way tight. So now this is what it sounds like with the microphone being about this far away from me. And then now what we're gonna do, we're gonna jump outside. We're gonna go into the park real quick just to get a real world use of what it would look like if you were vlogging. That's part of the reason to use a microphone like this, is when you're out run and gun talking, what kind of sound can you capture? Something better than the onboard microphones there, but something that's not too heavy to weigh down your camera. So let's go do that real quick outside, then we'll come back inside and give our final thoughts. I'll listen to the audio, I'll mix the audio like I said I would there, and then we'll give our final thoughts on what my overall impressions are of this microphone, as well as how it compares to some of the other microphones in this category. All right, so we're actually outside shooting another video right now, but it is super windy. I have the dead cat on the mic. It's a cold winter day. I'm actually in the Midtown area. We have the building tunnels and all that stuff. So this is what the microphone sounds like in a windy city area. If you're walking around your city and you're a vlogger, I feel like most people that would be using this microphone, this is what they'd be doing. This is what it sounds like on the Sony a7S III with the preamps, but this is what it sounds like with the dead cat, with the sensitivity and all that there. Just again testing. The wind has picked up a lot here. I feel like I'm in Chicago in the windy city as I'm shooting this other video. But again, if you're a vlogger and you're vlogging in all conditions, this is probably be some of the windiest conditions you could find in the Atlanta area. But this is what the Godox VD mic sounds like as we're doing that there. Just for reference, this is what the Rode Videomicro sounds like here in this particular park. I brought it here just because there's always planes and helicopters flying by. There's an airport that's pretty close, and then also you have the waterfall in the background, always creating some background noise. So this is always an interesting point here. The microphone is placing towards me, but it should be rejecting the noise in the background there. But this is what the Rode sound like, which is pretty much industry standard for the compact mic area there. And now this is the Godox VD microphone here, plugged in at the same level that I had the Rode Videomicro plugged in at there. Yeah, but this is what it sounds like, same setup. I have all kind of planes, people talking in the background. We have the waterfall in the background there that you're hearing. This is with the dead cat on. Let me take the dead cat off real quick and switch it out for just the regular windscreen there, and you can hear the difference. This is the microphone without anything connected to it here while we're outside. And then lastly, this is what it sounds like with the regular windscreen on there instead of the dead cat. So you still do have some background noise with people walking around, people off in the distance talking, as well as the waterfall in the background. So we'll see how much it is rejecting that sound when we get back into the edit there, into the studio. Whew. All right, back inside. Tested out the microphone outside as you guys just saw, and actually as I have gone back into Final Cut Pro and listened back to the audio, I have been really impressed by this mic. So as I mentioned before we went outside, I did have a little bit of user error when I first plugged it in. It wasn't in tight enough, and that kind of caused a little bit of feedback noise. Once I did that, it was fine. Now this microphone is actually really sensitive, which is a good thing, but it threw me off a little bit because I kept on hearing this low hum noise. Really what it was picking up, it was just picking up the air conditioning. I think my wife was running the washing machine and the dryer way back upstairs in another room away from here, but it was still picking up those noises. I was like, man, maybe something was wrong with the microphone, only to find out that those things were on and the microphone is really that sensitive, which is a really good thing. So you want a sensitive microphone that can pick stuff up for two reasons. One, it means that you could lower the levels on your camera in this case. In other cases, it would be on your audio interface. But regardless, you can lower the levels, which lowers the noise floor. So therefore you have a lesser noise floor and you can move things around if you do need to EQ and all that there a lot better. Also, if you do have a camera that doesn't have great preamps, you're not so relying on the camera to boost the signal that much because the microphone is sensitive enough to gather all the information and get you a good quality sound that you need. I was also super impressed at the ability of the microphone to still capture my voice and have a good presence in my voice, even with a lot of background noise. As you could hear when I was walking around that Midtown area, it was super windy, but the mic was still able to catch my voice louder than everything else. Even in the instances when I mixed it and added a little bit of compression and a little bit of EQ, it did raise the noise of the background and everything else because it is picking that stuff up, but it primarily was picking up my mic. And then also when I went to the park, that particular spot that I do like to test these type of microphones in, because you do have that waterfall that is behind you that you usually can hear on some of the other mics, this did a super good job of being directional and was only picking up what was pointing in front of it, which was primarily my voice. And then of course you did hear the planes and some people walking by because that was in the same direction, but I didn't really hear the waterfall in the background, which was very important of how directional it is. And then I know I said initially before we went outside that I would mix the audio. I know I did a little bit of that with in the titles there just to show you guys what it sounds like, but I'll do this here now. This is just the raw audio. Again, with the microphone being about this far away from me, this is what it sounds like. And now I will go ahead and mix that audio and just let you know what it sounds like. Again, this room isn't treated for sound, so it's really echoey in this room. This is not the room that I'm supposed to be in, which is why usually at the start of the video, you saw me with the microphone that was here. That's plugged into an audio interface, and because I can get it closer, I get a much cleaner sound. But let's just go ahead and bring this microphone a little bit closer here so we can hear it, what it would sound like just real quick. All right, and then this is the microphone about this far from me, 6 inches. So if I had it off camera, if I did still have it on camera, if you wanted it there, this is what it would sound like here. So again, this is a really good offering here from Godox. I think they did an awesome job in terms of making a mic that had a good presence boost there. I know some microphones on the cheaper side, they tend to do that a little bit too much and they come out a little bit too boomy. This sounds really clean on the voice. At least I like the way it sounds on my voice. And it also, again, is super sensitive, so I like that there. So the question that most people normally have, or the thing that most people want to compare this to, is the Rode Videomicro. And the question most people will have is this better? Should I go ahead and get this? As the title of this video will probably say, don't get a Rode Videomicro before you watch this video. And it depends. I am still a big fan of Rode mics, and this is the reason why. They still have a really flat response in terms of what you hear is what you get. So there is no real boost in any of the frequencies. It's just super accurate. Like if you don't like the sound of your voice, you might not like the way it sounds in a Rode microphone. But here's why this is important. If you are gonna EQ and compress and put effects onto your recordings, then that is what you want. You want a flat response in the same way that you want a flat response from your monitors. You want something like that there. However, if you want something that's just gonna sound great right out of camera, that's where something like this Godox VD mic would come in here. It's kind of like almost like Canon colors. Canon doesn't necessarily have the most accurate colors. That's not a disrespect to any Canon cameras as a Sony user, but nobody cares how accurate it is because the look that you're going for, the actual end product, you're closer to that with Canon cameras, and that's why people love Canon colors so much. I think with this Godox mic would fit into that category where if you just want to plug something in and you don't want to get into the whole mixing and EQing of audio, this mic would be probably a better choice for you. However, if you are going to be mixing your audio in the same way, like if you are going to be color grading and you feel like you could push things around to get it to sound exactly like you want and get that boost and all that, then maybe you might want to look at the Rode if you're going to be processing your audio and a lot. Either which way, this Godox VD mic is a good shot in the right direction by Godox. So salute to them in terms of putting more pressure into the market and having people come up with creative ways and all that there. So thank you for watching this video. If you got it this long, hopefully this video helped you out. If it did help you out in any way, shape, or form, please go ahead and drop it a like, as that helps us to create more content here on the channel. Links down below if you do want to check out the microphone. That gives us a small kickback to us. Again, that also helps us to create more content like this on the channel as well at no cost to you. And then also, if you're interested in this particular video and you liked what you saw here, I am reaching out to Deity in particular to get the Deity dual microphone, and I also have another couple other microphones here that I'll do a complete comparison between the different compact mics that are popular in this category. So hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button so that you don't miss that, and I will catch you in the next video. Bless up yourself. Peace.